Am I live? I think I am. Hey folks, haven't been live in a while, and I backed off a little bit of doing the weekly live sessions because I think I'm going to move to shorts. Shorts is being pushed much more on YouTube to reach more people. So, anyways, but I want to have an announcement that I'm going to release a sale. Actually, the sale is already up in the store. I'll put the description, the link to the sale in the store in the description below. And the sale is an incredible sale. I've run a sale similar to this before, but it's even cheaper now. 99 bucks for everything I got from the Fiddle Jam Institute. So if you don't know what the Fiddle Jam Institute is, it's my online school where I teach how to rock and roll on the violin, teach how to improvise. And it started with the book. Let's see here. It started with my book. That was for Hal Leonard, The Fiddle Jam, a way cool, easy way to learn how to improvise. It came out about 20 years ago now. And I eventually expanded the stuff in the book to be an online school. Online at the Fiddle Jam Institute, there's hundreds of lessons on all kinds of things. Improvisation, of course, in every different style that I could think of, whether it be blues or rock or jazz or fiddling, learning how to improvise the background parts, the fiddle tunes, all different kinds of things. There's hundreds of lessons on there. And with this sale, I also include 4 standalone courses. If you're just a beginner, there's one just for you for adult beginners. It's called Bucket List Fiddle Jam. If you ever wanted to learn to fiddle, in 1 month time, I'll get you sounding pretty good and playing at least one good song, and you can go from there. Without hurting yourself. I have a chiropractor on board that did a webinar with me to help how not to hurt your shoulders and neck and stuff when you're playing. It's a good course. I'm proud of it. There's also one, of course, Fiddle Jam 101. It expands beyond the book. It has even more tracks to jam to and more tips and tricks and that kind of thing. There's also another one. People want to know about how music works. So I did a Music Mechanics 101. It's like how to think of triads and scales and stuff on your violin or fiddle. Same thing. And another course I'm quite proud of is the Blues Violin course. It came out really great. I think there's 13 tunes in the style of famous tunes, famous artists everywhere from B.B. King to ZZ Top and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and learn to play those kind of things on your fiddle, including some older, like countrified blues and a Piedmont blues thing, and there's some, and I can't think of them all, like Stormy Monday kind of style, slow blues. So I learned how to play those on your violin. So speaking of violins, this one is the one that the Outlaw Fiddle, my company, is starting to produce. This was number 1. It's my personal instrument. I've now made about 7 of them, and I'm going to ASTA. If you don't know what ASTA is the American String Teacher Association. So, and every year they do a national conference. This year it's in Orlando, not far from where I live, a couple hours from where I live in Florida. And I'm taking for the first time the fiddles and having a booth as a vendor. I threw my hat in the ring and paid the money, and it's not cheap to go with these things, but that's hence the sale. If I can make some money, it helps recoup some of my and pay for things, and it's how I do stuff around here, is I sell a few things and spend more on wood and promotions, and so anything you can do helps. 99 bucks gets the whole package of everything, all those courses I mentioned, full lifetime access to the site, and also the 2 of the books I've written. The Fiddle Jam book, it gets a digital version which has about 40 tracks that comes with it. You play along tracks. And also the other book, if you're a reader, the Rockin' Blues Fiddle Jam Etudes. Etudes spelled phonetically A-T-O-O-D-Z. I was trying to be hip. So anyways, you get all that package for 99 bucks. It's usually about $1,000 worth of stuff there. So check out these violins. What do you think? I'm taking a bunch of this model to the show, to show the teachers. I figured I'd start with my tribe. It's my first big promotional tour kind of thing for the company. I'm pretty proud of the shape. I've showed it off before. I haven't showed off playing it much. I'll play it just a minute here. And I'm taking a new model, which I don't have. I should have brought it in. It's out there in the shop. A new model that's more traditional. I figured this one might be a little too much, too Jetsons for people in certain gigs. Like if you're going to play on tour with a country band, they might go, it's kind of weird looking. I love the shape. I think it's neat. Gives you access up here. I think it sounds wonderful. The idea is that I have a whole new technology. It's just not the shape and a cool paint job. It's pickups internally. I have magnetic pickups. Yes, we've finally done it in the violin world. Magnetic pickups under the string. Pickups, magnetic pickups like a guitar, don't work with the bow. The bow messes with the way the string vibrates, and it sounds very thin and nasally. It doesn't sound good. If you put a magnetic pickup under the string and pluck, it sounds great like a guitar. But if you put a magnetic string underneath and bow, it goes. I found because the string only vibrates side to side when you bow, basically, and that's the picture the magnet sees, a very thin shape. So that's the sound it makes. Make sense? When you pluck a string, it goes in circles and figure eights and does all this thing, and cross section. That's the picture the magnet is seeing, so it gives a fatter sound. So I was very disappointed when I had a custom wound pickup put under a string, and it's 30 years ago. It just didn't work. So I thought about it, and later I said, "There's got to be something here." And I know people have gotten patents about trying to put pickup between the strings, all these uncomfortable things. It would get in the way. So I did about 500 different experiments in my shop and finally came up with a way to put magnetic pickups in the body while the bridge sits on a plate of metal which vibrates above the pickup, which acts as the string. It's magic. Check it out. Sounds like a violin to me, yet an electric violin and clear. It's kind of more like having an electric guitar, which you can play cleanly and clear and crystal clear. It's just not the same as an acoustic guitar, is it? So a Fender Telecaster plugged into an amp, clean, is a different sound, slightly, than an acoustic guitar plugged into a PA system, right? It just sounds more woody. And so the piezo pickups that most people use on violins and most manufacturers use on violins work well if you're trying to make it sound like an acoustic violin louder. But if you want to do rock and roll, we've been left in the dust by the guitar world. We're about 80 years behind. So this is probably bringing it up to about 1959 technology. I brought the violin with this. I brought the violin up from the 1700s up to about 1959 at least. This is like a hot-rodded Telecaster. With this, you can use any string you want, you prefer, any rosin. You can plug into just about any guitar amp on the market, any guitar amp, and put everything at noon and start there, and you should be pretty good. It's a proper output to compare to guitars. It can go into any guitar amp. So some people might go, why don't we plug in the guitar amp anyways? Well, guitar amps are very colored, actually. They're not made for a violin, not made for anything in particular, made for guitars in particular, and the manufacturers make them with humps and curves to the sound that accentuate the best parts of a guitar. So I made a violin that can plug into what's available on the market. Any Marshall stack, any Fender amp, I have a favorite, an Ignator down here, a tube amp, any tube amp, any amp modeling, amp, anything. And plug this thing in, straight in, no effects, no gymnastics with the tone knob needed. Just plug it in, it sounds pretty good right away. So, and also, which I love, which I'm going for, I think the violin world is ready to rock and roll. It distorts like creamy butter, I think. It can get nasty, but now without sounding too brittle. I don't know if the phone is communicating that well or not. I love that kind of stuff, and I think the violin world can go there and is ready to go there. We don't have to just be an acoustic violin louder. We can go toe-to-toe with Joe Bonamassa or Jimmy Page or any of those guys if we have the right gear. And this is part of the right gear for me. And maybe you want to check it out. You noticed that, maybe you noticed I slid my thumb. I think that's pretty cool. I have the master volume knob right here. Because when you're working with distortion, if you back if you haven't played guitar or haven't been around guitar players, electric guitar players a lot, when you back the volume off, when you're in distorted settings on an amp, it doesn't necessarily make it quieter right away, it just makes it less distorted, which is a musical advantage. With violin, you need to be able to get to this stuff quickly, because if you stop playing, it stops making noise, right? It's not like a guitar where you can hit it power chord, and while it's still ringing, you can reach out and twist the knob on the amp or on your guitar. Violin, you stop, it stops, basically. So the controls are very quick right there. On the new model, it's more traditionally shaped. I decided not to go with that because basically that kind of player would just set it and it sounds good, and they'd push with the bow when they want to go harder. But I might have some pickup settings where they flip them. So speaking of that, there is a switch on here. I have 2 different pickups and different combinations of them. Here's the one. A little more acoustic sounding. I have a combination which is a little brighter. Here's the other pickup, a little beefier. It pushes the amp rate away. And then I have like a turbo setting which combines the pickups. It sums them. Now that was all done with the volume partly down. Let's see. See how it just adds more distortion? Bring it down. Bringing it down. Not really quieter, it's just less distorted. So if you want to be in the rock and roll world, this is the instrument. All right, it's the newest technology, patent pending pickups. So if you want to help me out promoting them, I'm going to the ASTA conference. I'm going to have a booth 220 if you're going to go. Be there next weekend. It's the 15th through 18th in Orlando, Florida at the Hyatt. I'll be in booth 20 showing about a half dozen fiddles and shaking hands and handing out brochures and whatever we can do to help promote this kind of technology and show what it can do. And if you want to help me out and help yourself out by getting a great deal on all I have to offer with full lifetime membership to the site, the Fiddle Jam Institute site, access to the 4 courses, lifetime access to blues, violin, the bucket list Fiddle Jam, the Fiddle Jam 101 and music mechanics, and the 2 books, Fiddle Jam, of course, and the Etudes book. It teaches all the licks and tricks of the cool stuff. Now's the time to get in. All right. So thanks for listening. Thanks for checking this stuff out. And like I said, I'm going to back off doing these live weekly things so much, and going to go to the shorts because I think that reaches more people these days because the way YouTube is promoting them. So watch for that. Watch for some shorts. I'll be trying to do those pretty soon. And get the sale while it's there. It's not going to last forever. After I come back from ASTA, I'll probably take it down. But get it now. $99 for about $1,000 worth of stuff. All right? Check it out. And more of the fiddle. There you go. Rock and roll.